During World War II, soldiers often found themselves deep behind enemy lines, far from supply depots and without access to spare parts or fancy tools. Radios broke, rifles jammed, vehicles sputtered, and personal gear wore down, but survival depended on improvisation. In these extreme conditions, troops developed a lost art repairing almost anything, using nothing but ingenuity, scavenged materials, and simple tools. They didn't need a modern multi-tool. They had creativity, resourcefulness, and an intimate understanding of their environment. The techniques they used were born out of necessity, and today they offer timeless lessons for anyone who wants to understand true survival mechanics. In this guide, we'll uncover how soldiers fixed gear, repaired weapons, and kept critical equipment functioning, even under fire, and how you can apply these methods today when resources are limited. Soldiers relied on observation and resourcefulness rather than tools. When a rifle jammed or a vehicle part failed, World War II soldiers didn't panic. They analysed the problem first. Observation was the first step. Understanding how a mechanism worked allowed them to identify the exact point of failure and improvise a fix. For example, if a bolt was stripped or missing, a soldier could carve a temporary replacement from scrap wood or metal, carefully filing and shaping it until it functioned adequately. This same principle applies today in both survival and do-it-yourself scenarios. Before grabbing tools or parts, study the object, understand the problem, and you can often create a solution from materials at hand. A piece of wire, a bent nail, or even a leather strap can be transformed into a functional replacement if you know exactly what the device needs to operate. One of the most universal materials used by soldiers was wire. Communication and vehicle repair kits often provided short lengths, but when those ran out, soldiers scavenged fence wire, twisted springs, or even coat hangers. Wire could act as a makeshift clamp, lock, or spring, holding broken pieces together until a permanent repair could be made. String or cordage was equally versatile. Soldiers used it to lash together broken tools, fashion tripwires, or create tension for traps and pulleys. A length of bootlace could replace a missing strap on a gas mask, or twisted fibres from rope could temporarily reinforce a torn backpack. The key was understanding tension, leverage, and attachment points. By experimenting with natural or scavenged materials, soldiers often managed to restore function to critical equipment without a single specialized tool. In practice today, keeping a spool of thin wire and strong cord in your kit can save you in unexpected scenarios. Twisting, lashing, or bending these materials allows you to repair a variety of gear, from backpacks to cooking equipment, without traditional tools. Soldiers also became adept at simple metalworking, even without proper files or hammers. Using rocks, the edges of vehicles, or the flat side of a helmet, they could flatten, bend, or sharpen scraps to fit missing parts. A small metal tab could be folded into a makeshift bracket. A bent cartridge casing could act as a shim. During the North African campaign, soldiers repaired radios using solder improvised from tin from ration cans mixed with graphite or other soft metals to improve conductivity. In the field, they might even heat metal over a small fire to reshape it. These improvised techniques highlight a critical World War II lesson. Survival often depends on understanding the properties of materials around you and using them creatively. Today, anyone can apply this approach. Heat, bend, twist, and combine what's available to solve mechanical problems. Modern aluminum cans, scrap metal, or even old kitchen utensils can act as components for temporary repairs when nothing else is available. Beyond metal, soldiers turned to wood and leather. Splintered rifle stocks could be patched with carved wooden shims or leather straps held in place with wire or cordage. Broken handles on shovels, entrenching tools, or cooking utensils were often replaced with sturdy twigs or found branches. Leather from belts or boots could bind broken pieces or act as tension straps in makeshift hinges. These materials weren't just stopgaps, they were often surprisingly durable. A carefully selected branch or tightly twisted leather strap could keep a tool functional for weeks. Modern survivalists can use the same logic, identify local natural materials that can replace lost components and use tension, binding, or shaping to restore functionality. Understanding the mechanical role of the part is more important than replicating its exact material. Perhaps the most impressive skill was the ability to repurpose broken or discarded items entirely. Buttons, nails, tin cans, and even fragments of spent ammunition became parts for repairs. Soldiers knew how to extract small screws from broken radios to fix larger devices, or convert scrap metal into washers, pins, or shims. This mindset teaches a critical lesson. Nothing is trash in survival. Every discarded piece has potential if you think in terms of function rather than form. Today, practicing this skill can save gear in the wilderness, on extended hikes, or in urban survival scenarios. Approach broken items analytically. What does the device need to operate? How can this scrap serve that purpose? With patience and creativity, almost anything can be restored to function. WWII soldiers understood that their ability to repair depended less on having a multi-tool and more on creativity, patience, and a methodical approach. Improvised repairs required careful planning, trial and error, and constant learning from mistakes. A hurried, sloppy fix could make a firearm jam or a vehicle part fail. By contrast, a disciplined approach, observing the failure, selecting suitable materials, and testing carefully, produced reliable results even in extreme conditions. For modern survivalists, this is the central lesson: tools are secondary. A multi-tool helps, but resourcefulness, knowledge of materials, and practical experimentation are far more valuable. Developing these skills takes time, but once mastered, they provide a level of self-reliance that no kit can fully replace. The lost WWII's trick of repairing anything without a multi-tool is not just historical curiosity. It's a blueprint for ingenuity under pressure. Soldiers thrived by using wire, string, wood, leather and scrap metal to restore weapons, tools and equipment when failure wasn't an option. Their lessons in observation, improvisation and material mastery remain invaluable today for survivalists, adventurers and anyone who values self-reliance. If you enjoyed this deep dive into battlefield ingenuity, subscribe to Echoes of Valor for more explorations of lost survival techniques and historical problem-solving. Share this video with fellow history enthusiasts, because these wartime lessons aren't just stories, they're practical skills we can still apply in the modern world.